Our next speaker will be CTO of the Latvian TET company. And I was thinking, how do I present to you a TET company when there are a lot of people in this audience who are not from Latvia, so obviously TET doesn't ring a bell. And it struck me suddenly, look, it's not a telco company. It was a telco company. How do I present that? So let us allow Dmitrijs to tell that. But Dmitrijs is a member of TET board and CRT. He has over 15 years of an experience in IT, and his keynote speech will be on securing Latvia's digital tomorrow. What a nice topic, don't you think? With warm applause, let's wait for Dmitrijs here. Good. The stage is yours.
Thank you, Rainis. Hello, everyone. So let's talk a bit on the critical infrastructure. We had some mentions during the previous talks about the critical infrastructure, but what is the critical infrastructure in our sense? So the critical infrastructure like railroad systems, financial services, medical systems, power grids is the backbone of state's well-being. Every state knows where its critical infrastructure is located, how to defend it, and so know the enemy of the state. Most probably they know where our weak points are and they try to tackle that. Because the breach in critical infrastructure has the catastrophic consequences for the well-being of the state. If we are looking at the statistics from nowadays, then we see that the life has changed during the last 2 years. It was much more simpler in year 2020-2019 because all attackers had in mind is financial gains. They were calculating the return on investment, what their goals are, how can they monetize their breaches. However, at the moment, the situation has changed a bit. All the attacks have the political sense in mind, and the attackers are ready to put their effort into breaching our critical systems only if they have in mind, if they can bring distortion and chaos to the society. And that's the disturbing fact. If we are looking at the predictions of the analytical firm Gartner, then by the end of 2025, around 30% of critical infrastructure organizations will be breached, and all their part of their critical systems will be brought offline. Gartner says that by the end of 2025, malicious actors will find the way how these breaches can affect the well-being of the humans and might kill humans as well. That's a bit scary. So all the critical infrastructure holders should step up a bit and double down on their investment in a critical infrastructure security. Our role as a TET, we are the holder of the biggest telecommunication infrastructure in Latvia. Around 50% of traffic of Latvia flows through our network. We have around 50% market shares in TV space. So our TV platforms are viewed by 50% of Latvian citizens. And we are providing services to more than 80% of largest Latvian organizations. So we are the holder of the critical infrastructure as well. And our responsibility to make sure that our infrastructure works well. So our goal is to ensure that digital security of the country is well managed by us, and we are doing everything in our forces to achieve that. We have defined 3 pillars how we can tackle that. So the first one, we need to secure ourselves. Otherwise, there won't be any possibility to provide services for the customers. Second one, we are securing Latvian organizations and companies. Third one, we are working to educate and secure Latvian society. In details, the first one, the most critical part is to secure our IT infrastructure, which is being used to provide the services for the Latvian companies and for the customers as well. So we have around 7 data centers which are serving for our purposes and for our customers, and the security is very important there. So both IT security and physical security as well, because physical breach can occur as well. And that's why we are constantly improving our security measures. We are certifying to the highest extent with ISO 27001 certification PCI DSS as well. Next one, we are planning our network resilient, and every time we plan the network and how to expand the network, we are looking from the worst case scenario. Well, on the planning meetings with our engineers and architects, we have one question, and that's what if, and we simulate the situation, what if something happens? In the last 1.5 years, you can imagine that this what if question has changed a bit and is working in one particular stream. The overall geopolitical situation has changed dramatically, and we have to understand what if something happens to our infrastructure. Can we restore the infrastructure from another point? Do we have any possibility to lose the data? How fast we can restore our data centers from another point? So that's the questions we are asking ourselves, and working on resilience of our network 24/7. Of course, the monitoring of all the technical infrastructure and IT infrastructure 24/7, that's essential part of any telco operator. We are ensuring that our services work without interruptions. And in this case, we have to fight DDoS attacks every day. So this year is a bit calmer. Last year, we had like a boom of DDoS attacks connected with some different political events. This year, I guess attackers see that they have to bring more imagination into the process, and we see that they are shifting their methods. They are attempting different hybrid attacks and so on. They see that some companies are addressing issues with the DDoS attacks by blocking outside perimeter and leaving only the country open. So one of my friends asked me why he can't order food, groceries for his parents from one of the popular e-shops in Latvia, being in Hong Kong. So obviously the target audience for this e-shop is in Latvia, and they have blocked everything out, and you can access the e-shop only from Latvia. But the situation changes, and attackers understand that these are the methods which are being used by the companies, by telco operators. If they can't withstand the huge amount of attacks, they just blocking geographically, and we see more and more attacks happening within Europe and within Latvia itself. From our statistics, what we've seen so far in the last 3 months, this is the top countries by volume attacking. So naturally, United States is the first one, and the United States has the largest amount of IT and telecommunication equipment. China, largest amount of people in the world. What is a bit worrying, Netherlands and Germany, that's the countries within our safe space, Europe. And we see that some amount of these attacks, and a quite huge amount coming from them. The situation changes if you look at this statistic in a couple of months. Maybe some other countries will be represented there, but the essence being the same. There are some countries of Europe which will be in the leaders in the next months, but still the situation within the Europe and European Union is not that stable, and we have to understand what to do with that. The next thing, we are providing cybersecurity operation center services for our customers. For the telco operator, it's essential to have the network operation center and security operation centers. Not all customers can afford that, and that's how we can help our society, our business partners to ensure their security of their perimeters and monitor the network and IT systems for 24/7. Of course, educating the society is one of the most important parts where companies should address the issue. From our side, we've defined that we want to work with the new generation, educate them on how correctly to use the products, how to safely browse internets, what dangers to expect in an internet space. Of course, we do not forget about the grown-ups as well. We are working with the different organizations like Riga Girls, and our experts teach the people how to tackle the cybersecurity, what to be aware of, and of course the companies, we try to help them to understand the security landscape across the map. And as I said, we have around 50% market share in television, and it's up to us to take part in protecting the information space. So we are working closely with the government agencies on the malicious websites, on the propaganda channels and so on, and trying to get rid of them as such. One of the problems nowadays, you must be aware that malware and phishing is on the rise, and what we see from our gateways, which we are offering to the customers as well, that the amount of spam is incredibly big. This year, we've stopped around 47 million suspicious emails, and more than 200,000 of them were containing the viruses, and that's the important part. The second thing is that we are offering the phishing testing or phishing training for the companies, for our customers, and what we see that the situation within the companies is not really good. For the first time, we are checking the readiness of our customers' employees. The best result, I guess, we got was 15% of customers' employees were clicking and entering the information into the phishing emails, and that's the open breach in every company's system. So that's the invitation for the attackers to come into our infrastructure. Why am I telling you this? Of course, it's marketing purpose, but the biggest point here is that, to be honest, there are hundreds and thousands of companies around Europe which are doing the same. But the sad truth is that at the moment we are battling the symptoms and not the root cause. We are mitigating DDoS attacks, filter out spam, virus emails, blocking the malicious websites and so on. But in the next minute, the same company launches the new website, launches the new sources for the attack and so on. That's the fight against the wind. You cannot win that. For example, from our DDoS attacks, we see that there is 4 to 5 companies which IT resources are taking part in 90% of all DDoS attacks on our network. This is the example of the company which was registered on 10th of February in 2022. We all remember what happened 2 weeks later. The only statement on the company's website that, hey, we are a really responsible company, and here is our emails for police abuse requests and so on. We see that these attacks from the company from different parts of Europe are happening non-stop. We can filter them out, however, we cannot block them. If we filter stop one attack, in the second attack we will see the same company with the different resources, but it will be there, it will be attacking our infrastructure and our customers' infrastructure. For that purpose, we need unified action within the Europe companies and some kind of centralized cyber risk management system. So we need fast reactions and means how to block unresponsible organizations or organizations which are intended to harm the society, the companies, and so on within the Europe. At the moment, we have no means how to address that. If we see that malicious actor is located in another country, we can contact our CERT, and maybe CERT can work further. However, the centralized reaction center and some changes in the law should be applied for companies to easier attack this malicious hazards. And I'm not talking here about the freedom to block any websites which we like. We have net neutrality in Europe, and I absolutely love it, but we have to understand that keeping them malicious websites and malicious actors online is bringing harm and danger to users and population. So we have to address that somehow. The other problem in Latvia which should be addressed is we should take action against the companies which are working in the shadow or gray area. We still have some problem with the unregistered, unofficial satellites which provide propaganda messages from abroad, from our neighbors. We have small operators with overhead ducts. If you will take a walk around Riga, just look at the skies and you will see that there are a lot of ducts between the buildings. Some of companies are big and responsible, and but some of companies who are using those ducts, illegally constructed ducts, are small companies which are not following the rules, which are not concerned about security or some legislation. They are operating in the gray area. That should be addressed as well if you want to improve our security. The second one, the third one, and this is already happening. We need unified crisis plan across the map from different organizations and different verticals. And I know that our ministries are working on that and synchronizing the plans between the companies, but we need to speed up here because the situation might change in a moment, and we wouldn't be able to address the dangers which are waiting us further. And the last one, we have to educate society, and we have to do it together. So basically the government and the companies. For a statistic from last year shows that each month 1 million euros was defrauded from the citizens of Latvia. So we have to educate people how to recognize fraud, how to recognize phishing, and so on. Because if people were willing to part with their money, they will be willing, unknowingly willing to part with the access to the critical infrastructures. So basically, that's the risk within our whole IT infrastructure in business environment. And even if the person is not having the access to the critical infrastructure, I guess the majority of company have not implemented the zero-risk policy within their infrastructure. So gaining access from the small access to the one user within infrastructure opens the gate for the attackers to explore the network within, because usually the companies try to protect the external perimeter of the company, and considering that, hey, our internal perimeter is safe, and we can forget about that. And this is the gateway to our internal perimeter. And looking at the statistic, the gate is pretty widely open. So all, both government and companies have to put their effort, put their money into educating the society. If society will be strong and the knowledge within the society will be strong, we will have much more less to worry about within the cyberspace. In the summary, so three big steps to secure a cyberspace in Latvia, and I would say that it can be applied to other countries as well. The first is to legislation, how we can react on the knowing malicious actors and how we can address them. Second one, educate the society, and the third one is the support from the business sector and the companies. Everyone should take a part, and we know that the chain is as strong its weakest part. Thank you.
A great keynote. Yeah, I'm watching questions coming in via the Menti.com. If you wish, you can now type in the question. I might try to ask you, how to say, maybe a technical one, maybe a legislative one. So yeah, you mentioned Netherlands and UK as the countries that, you know, after United States, the top, the sources where the attacks come from. Well, obviously it's not like a bunch of criminals are sitting there. It's just data centers in Amsterdam, in London. There are data centers. And you said, obviously, TET also has data centers here. So there are two things. Now, one thing is obviously, do we have to worry that as you grow your services and you grow your customer base, we will see Latvia also in some of these tops, which wouldn't be nice, but it can happen as we, you know, expand our services. And the other thing, you mentioned about, you know, the freedom on the internet, the right to be free on the internet, right to move across the internet. In some countries, for example, in internet cafe, I have to show my ID to use one, to use actually the machine. That's how they know that that person maybe did something wrong during these times. For the data centers, obviously, one domain is shut down. You'll create another one the next moment. But if, as an example, for the service of, you know, having the servers, you are paying. Somebody is paying, some company is paying, some private enterprise is paying, or the private person is paying. They are paying with the credit cards. For the regular companies to buy servers from, or virtual servers from, you need to provide a credit card. You can't buy with any bitcoins or things like that. So what if I want to buy anything bigger than, I don't know, 2 cores, I would have to provide my ID. Would you support that? So, sorry, I had 3 questions in one, but maybe you can elaborate on these.
Yeah, first of all, I really hope that we will grow as big as Netherlands data center infrastructure. And the second one, I would say that I don't foresee that we will get in this kind of top, because we are taking care of our customers, and in the background we are scanning our customer systems and looking forward for some breaches. We have some agreement with the customers that at some extent we might change whether everything is okay. We have some security audits and so on. Regarding the showing the ID, I don't know whether it's in Europe, because it looks like kind of strange, because the cyberspace in Europe is really free, and
can be an issue in Southern Europe.
Yeah, that looks like a Southern Europe or more. Yeah, but I'm against the limitation of the usage in the internet. The internet should be free, okay. But we have to develop our means how to react on a fast pace on the threats which are occurring in the internet. Otherwise, we are opening the gate for the different limitations and for more problems when some companies will try to play on the line and limiting the resources, blocking the resources, and so on. Regarding the data centers and cloud services, yes, you are paying with the credit card, but the company should provide some basic AML checks in the background and be sure that you are not selling to the Russian citizens which are in the sanctions list and so on. So, and you should react to the unlawful doings of your customers. You should block them, you should put them in the blacklist and so on. So you should be responsible service provider in that case, and not just ignore the significant signs from your partners, from customers or other players on the market.
Okay, great one. Thank you for your time. Thank you for a wonderful keynote.